Okay, in lesson 6, our objective is basically relate fraction as division to fraction of a set. So maybe some students that are having a problem seeing the tape diagram, it's like the old thing of taking buttons and counting them out and splitting them up into sets, we're going to use that today and see if we can make sure everybody understands how to relate fractions as division. Okay, today we're going to be finding fractional values of whole numbers. And we're going to do that by drawing arrays. Here it says find the value of each of the following. And what they're talking about, this first one says 1/3 of 12. And it says it equals 4. Now they've got a thing already drawn here, but I'm going to show you what they did. They said, okay, 1/3 of 12. So they can take 12, and I'm going to draw it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I drew it in such a way that when I can section it off into thirds. Now this shows you that 1/3 is equal to 4, and 2/3 would be equal to 8, and 3/3 would be equal to 12. On the second one, they're wanting to find 1/4 of 20. So once again, we're doing in fourths. So I know I'm going to split it up to where I can divide them into fourths. So in this one here, they knew that 5 would go into each one. So they sectioned off into fourths. And you can see that 1/4 here was equal to 5. 2/4 of 20 is actually 10. 3/4 would be 15, and 4/4, which is the whole, would be 20, because 4/4 of 20 would be 20. On this one, they had 35 and by 5. Now you can see one way to figure it out very easy. It says, okay, 5 will go into 35 how many times? 7. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure when I draw it, I'm going to put 7 in each row. And I'm going to section them off into fifths, because that's 1/5, and that would have been equal to 7. 2/5, which now is equal to 14. 3/5 would actually be 21. 21. 4/5 is going to be 28. And 5/5 would be 35. Now we're out of fifths, but it says 6/5. So 6/5 would be 5/5. 5/5 of 35 is this. So we know one more fifth would be another 7. So 7, and you can see the pattern there. For every 7, it went up. For every fifth, it went up 7. So this would end up being 42. If we drew another fifth in there, you'd see it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/5. Okay. Find 2/3 of 18. Draw a set and shade to show your thinking. Okay, so now I know I've got 18 and I'm doing them thirds. And I know 6 times 3 is 18, so I'm doing it in sixes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now we're dividing it into thirds. So I can see now, since this is 1/3, this here would be 2/3, this would be 3/3. I'm looking for 2/3, which would be 12. So 2/3 of 18 equals 12. Sarah just turned 18 years old. She spent 4 nights of her life living in Rochester, New York. How many years did Sarah live in Rochester? Okay, so since she spent 4 nights of her life, and she's 18, so we're looking for 4 nights of 18. So I can see we're going to nights and 18, so I'm going to do a set of 2. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Excuse me. Doing 2 into each set. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. Okay. Now, I'm going to split these up into nights. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So there's 9 of them in here. See, this is 1 ninth, 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights, 6 nights, 7 nights, 8 nights, and 9 nights. And it says 4 nights. So we're looking at right to here, and we can see that was 2, 4, 6, 8. So, according to what we just took a look, she lived in 4 nights of her life. So 4 nights of 18 equals 8. So she lived 8 years in Rochester. A farmer collected 12 dozen eggs from her chickens. She sold 5, 6 of the eggs at the farmer's market and gave the rest to her friends and neighbors. Part A. How many dozens did the farmer give away? How many eggs did she give away? So in order to keep something like this straight, you really need a tape diagram. And we know that she had a total of 12 dozen eggs. And it says she sold 5, 6. So if she sold 5, 6 of them, that only leaves this little part right here, which has to be 1/6, because it has to add up the whole that she gave away. So that means the problem wants us to say 1/6 of 12 dozen. So I know 6 will go into 12 2 times. So I'm going to set 2 columns, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And it says 6, so I'm going to section them off into 6. So there's 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, and 6/6. Now, we're looking for 1/6. So she gave away 2 dozen eggs. No, excuse me, 2 dozen eggs. Yes. Now the second part here is how many eggs did she give away? So now we know 2 dozen, which equals 2 times 1 dozen. And 2 times, we know that there's 12 eggs in a dozen. So we know 2 times 12 eggs is 24. So she gave away 24 eggs. B, she sold each dozen for $4.50. How much did she earn from the eggs she sold? Well, since she sold each dozen. So according to this, if you look back, she says she sold 5, 6. Okay, so we know that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 dozen. So 10 dozen times $4.50 a dozen equals, well, I could do a standard algorithm like this, of course, but we know that if we're going to multiply by 10, it's going to shift the decimal point 1 place. on place value because it's a multiple of 10. And it's going to get larger because I'm multiplying by a whole number. So that means that she would have made $45. Now over here, what it would look like, I'd go here. The way we've done in class, we've rounded. Okay, 450 would be close to 5. 10 would be close to 50. 10 is 10. So our estimate would be 50. Now I would ignore the decimal and I would just 10 times this would be 4,500. And in order for this to be reasonable to 50, I would have to put my decimal right there.